Craig, what did you think of the offense's ability early, especially a lot of 2 strike hits to get the offense going?
Yeah, well, I mean, first just to make it tough on the opener and bring the guy and Priester into a tough situation. I thought that was a big part of it, and just never letting them get comfortable. But we did a nice job. I mean, our first 2 times through the order, we were excellent, and obviously got some huge hits in there. And the Bushy home run was like you said, a two strike home run. I think you got a breaking ball up and put a great swing on it.
Any idea how Pete Crow's taking that 9-iron out, getting down low? Seems like a
well, it's the blessing and the curse, because the next at bat he swung at a ball that was in the dirt. So it's like his bat path works kind of just below the zone really well, but he's going to swing down there. But what he's doing now is pretty amazing. At some pitches out of the strike zone, frankly. It's just Pete.
What do you say for the length of your lineup, the number of homers y'all have from the bottom third of that order all season?
Yeah, I mean, it's been important for us to just, that's why you score a lot of runs, is we're getting production all over the lineup and from a number of different people. That's been the strength of this team right so far.
Ben Brown to not let them back in it and go 6 the way he did, just what stood out to you?
He threw a ton of strikes tonight and just attacked ahead in the count. It was the strikes, really. I mean, 6 innings and low 70s in the pitches, so it was really just strike zone. He was in the strike zone. They were swinging, but it was in the strike zone. And then in a night like that, when you're spotted a 9-run lead after, you're going out there for your second inning and you got a 9-run lead, that's your job. Especially a guy like Ben.
Is it a simple thing, but also a sign of maturity for him that he knows his?
Yeah, I mean, I think. Look, when there's a 1-run game, it's a little different. There's no question, it just is. But I think it gives you confidence, going out to it gives you the confidence to attack, and I think he pitched like that tonight, and that's a good thing, absolutely.
Your grand slam, 2 strikes. Just walk us through that at bat.
Yeah, he threw a similar pitch, 0-1. Thought it was a little off, and then he threw one a little closer. So I think it was kind of nice to have seen it, the pitch before that. But, yeah, just try to get something in the air and get a sac fly at least.
What do you just think of the offense's ability to put pressure on the opposing pitching staff selectively early in the game and kind of opener strategy?
Yeah, I think just the momentum of Happen, Kyle just going right off the bat and getting those first 2 singles and get us going, I think just creates a little momentum, and then just kind of carried us through the first couple innings. It was nice to kind of extend that lead and get out to an early start.
Craig, before the game, was complimenting you on your consistency. I know that's something you were focused on coming in the year. How do you evaluate this first month?
Yeah, I feel like I've done a decent job. Just trying to minimize the lows and stay as consistent as I can throughout the season. Month 1's done, but kind of moving on to the next one and just kind of keep going. I think that experience is good. Talking to guys is good, but just kind of continuing to keep going and month by month and day by day, honestly.
When you look at what Pete's been doing this season, especially the last 3 weeks with all the home runs, what impresses you the most?
Yeah, it's been really fun to watch. He's he's an extremely hard worker. Loves to be out there, loves to play the game. I think one of the things that's impressed me the most is just the ability to cover some of these pitches he's hitting below the zone, but also like hard fastballs up in the zone. And it's not as easy as he's making it look, but he's a great kid, hard worker, and a lot of talent.
First career grand slam. What will you do with the ball?
I'll probably give it to my dad. He likes he takes a little better care of it than I do.
What was it like?
And that's saying a lot.
What was it like playing behind Ben Brown when he was really rolling and attacking the strike zone today?
Yeah, he's also fun to watch, fun to play behind. Just pounding the zone, getting ahead early, and kind of letting his stuff work. You look up 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and that curveball's pretty good too. So, when he's doing his thing, he's one of the best in the game, in my opinion.
Michael, your production against breaking balls has been better this year compared to last year? Do you think is there something behind that, or do you think that's just sort of a byproduct of quality of bats? How do you do that?
Yeah, I don't. Just kind of worked on that in the off season. Honestly, worked on a little bit of everything. So I don't know if it's a little bit of that, or just maybe getting a little bit in the zone and working with DK and Males. Just trying to stay aggressive and be able to drive those pitches when they're mistakes. But yeah, I don't know where that comes from, but just gotta keep doing it.
Well, first, just what the offense did. How does that impact kind of what you're able to do and kind of the mindset of maybe aggressiveness early?
Yeah, it's been this case for basically every game I pitched in. The offense is doing a great job, having some longer innings to kind of think about things, and kudos to them. Defensively was awesome today too. Nicky Lopez over at third base is just really, really talented. Nicky and Dan's that whole infield, Nico, Bushy. Obviously, we see what Pete can do in center, and I don't want to name every player, but I will. It's awesome, and it's great to have that behind you. And I felt like me and Karsten were doing some awesome things tonight, and she's really challenged me to kind of take a step up, and I'm grateful for that.
When whether it was going into the game or once they got that lead, how important was it for you to go 5 or 6?
We've been putting in a lot of work. Obviously, I know it's at stake here. I have a really good opportunity with this team, and I don't want that to go away. I want to contribute. I want to be a guy for this team. I want to save the bullpen. I want to do things that I have to do. I want to win ball games, and I got to pitch better, right? So that's been the focus this whole week, is getting back on track. And today was probably the closest I felt to where I was at last year, just from a command standpoint and attack standpoint, where my curveball was at, especially early on. It was really aggressive early on. There's some really good change-ups today too. So all really encouraging stuff for sure.
Anything that you did that
we're just putting in the time. Just trusting I can be that guy I was last year. So putting in the time, Tommy, Casey, bullpen catchers, it's nonstop attack. The teammates have been awesome, having great conversations with just about every guy. So.
How do you think you've grown over the last month or maybe the last year? Is it more mental? Is it more pitching style? What is it that you feel like you've taken steps?
Yeah, this is the first time I've kind of struggled in the big leagues, and last year was a different animal. I was in survival mode for half the time, and I did well, right? But this year, it's like I feel fine. I feel like a professional baseball player. You're gonna wake up, work on things. You can't overdo it, all the time. But I feel like week in, week out, I'm in a good spot to compete, and I wasn't doing that. Even games where I was, I'm still struggling through some things, and I'm using my brain a lot more than I've ever had to use my brain. I'm trying to stay, level-headed as much as I can, and I'm leaning into guys that have been doing it for a while, and they've really been helping me out. So yeah, I definitely feel like I've grown a lot. This is the most I've grown in my life, and it's been a long 1 month, but it's a good month. We're 10 games over 500 or whatever we are. We're a really good baseball team, and it's really cool to be a part of it.
you said Carson's really been challenging you?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Cars will he'll let me know where I'm at, and in a really good way. And we're talking through everything, and I think what's really cool about Cars too, Cars obviously is on contract, he's been around for a while, but I can go up to him and talk about what I'm feeling, he doesn't treat me like I'm an idiot. We have good conversations, and he could if he wanted to. He's done some awesome things on the baseball field, and you see what he's doing offensively too. And no, he's a really good teammate, really good leader on this team. Same thing with Miggy. Those two guys are so mature, and they're just awesome communicators. So.
A lot of your teammates have been, and your manager as well, just the pitches out of the zone for you. What do you attribute your ability to get that done and hit pitches out like that?
Well, that's kind of a blessing and a curse. Didn't really work out for me that well last year, but I think being able to have better at-bats this year has definitely allowed me to take better swings on those kind of pitches regularly. But realistically, I think the goal is to not be swinging at those all the time. If that's just a pitch that I see and react to, I'm giving myself the room to swing at it, but I've always hit the ball well down, so I would just really attribute that to that. I've kind of always done that. But yeah, I don't love getting in the habit of hitting those kind of pitches well usually leads to some chase. So, yeah.
Between what you've been doing, Tucker, say, Busch's kind of fallen under the radar a little bit. Just what have you thought about what he's kind of quietly done for you guys?
Shoot. I mean, he got his grand slam today. He deserved that one. Nico was just saying, or he brought up the robbed homer in L.A. But no, man, Busch's arguably been the most consistent guy we've had in the offense, I feel like, throughout the start of the year. But that's Michael Busch, man. I mean, I saw it in his early work today. I was out there with him, and he was just taking beautiful swings that way. And that's his second backside homer, too, and it's not an easy place to do it here. So, Busch, he's so true to himself, and so enjoyable to be around. His energy and the presence he kind of holds in this clubhouse is just awesome. So, glad he got that grand slam, and he deserved it, for sure.
What's the biggest way in which you've grown as a hitter over the last year? You talk about getting better at bats. How have you been able to do that?
I don't really know, to be honest. I mean, I definitely know what I do well, a little bit better than I did last year. And I having a whole year under my belt now, I feel more comfortable in the box, and I think that's just a nice place to start. But what I would say too, not to discredit myself, I've been saying this a bunch recently. Like, it's so easy to hit in this lineup. I just feel so confident going up to the plate in the 7-hole. I'm talking about flying under the radar. Like, I feel like I can kind of hide in there in a way, because it's so easy to want to go have a good at bat, and when you got 8 other guys that can really do it behind you, in front of you. So having a year under my belt, getting to know myself a little bit better as a hitter, and definitely working on some little things mechanically that will, I think, lead to some consistency. But not hitting in this lineup is probably the biggest difference I've seen this year to any other year I've ever played baseball, where it's like you see a lot of these innings, that first and second inning that we just had today. Like, Happer's great in that leadoff spot. He's on base so much. Being able to switch out Seiya and Kyle in that 2 and 3 hole, throwing Carson in the 4-hole, Bushy in the 4-hole, whatever it is. There's just so much room to succeed here, and just confidence.
When you see a position player there in the 9th, are you thinking about homer number 3?
Nah, Carson's got it down to a T, kind of. He told me in LA, he was like, gotta be quick and fast, not big and long or something like that. And he did it again tonight. But I'm not thinking homer. I'd be foolish to do so. I'd probably fall down swinging or something. I was ready to charge the mound though after that first pitch. I asked Haas if it was on purpose.
I mean, when you look at the past 3 weeks, you've hit more home runs than singles. I mean, just what does that say about your maturation just as a hitter?
It's nice, kind of seeing myself grow into my power, or just being able to use it properly. But yeah, doubles is what I want. Like, at the end of the day, doubles is what I'm going for, hitting to the big part of the field. But again, to bring it back to the lineup, it's super comforting knowing that I just got to get on first base, and it's not all the time I have to be in scoring position, but a single usually turns into a double with a few of us on this team, and kind of knowing that is big. So I mean, I think I've only had 3 hits in my last 15, 20 at bats if I'm really paying attention. And I haven't been too happy with the last 3-4 games that I've played. But singles, doubles, triples, homers, whatever it is, I want to be producing on the bases, however that is, and it's kind of what I'm asked of. So, just being able to utilize that power is nice. But it's just baseball. I'm just trying to hit the ball to the big part of the field.